everyone, Brett McRae here with your farm and ranch news from the Northern Ag Network. Despite a challenging world market and volatile prices, farmers here in the U.S. are uniquely suited to meet high-quality wheat demand around the globe. Drought limiting production last year and volatile markets because of the war in Ukraine meant that hard red winter wheat in the U.S. was priced much higher than competitive products on the world market. Exports for hard red winter were down 32% compared to the previous year. However, U.S. Wheat Associates President Vince Peterson says that farmers in America produce several different kinds of wheat that meet specific demand in certain markets.
Our task is to make our wheat a food ingredient and not just some bulk commodity. And that's how we're going to succeed going forward. We're not going to be the largest supplier, but we think we're going to be the smartest, the most efficient, probably provide the best value to the customers.
Latin America and the Asia Pacific Rim includes some of the countries with sophisticated wheat demand, which have become top purchasers of U.S. wheat over the past 5 years. High prices are steering consumers away from plant-based meat alternatives. A report from CoBank's Knowledge Exchange says that the market for these products has reached a tipping point as the initial period of exceptional sales growth appears to be over. Data from consumer research firm Mintel says that fewer than half of Americans who have tried plant-based meat products during the pandemic have repeated their purchase. We'll be back in an hour with your markets.
We asked Montana farmer Walt Sales about the challenges of mental health in agriculture.
Another drought. There always is. There's always going to be another something. I grew up in a generation of you pulled yourself up by your bootstraps. But it's become evident is what do you do if you can't even find those bootstraps? If you need to talk to somebody, go to beyondtheweather.com for free counseling for Montana ag producers.
Hello everyone, Brett McRae back with more farm and ranch news and your ag markets. New data from USDA's Economic Research Service shows variable rate technology adoption is on the rise. A variable rate technology is anyone that controls the amount of inputs such as seed, fertilizer, or chemicals that are applied to a field. The report says that in the late 90s and early 2000s, adoption rates were sluggish, remaining below 10% of planted acres for several field crops. However, now the adoption rate has rapidly increased, especially for the most common row crops. In 2017, 18.8% of winter wheat planted acres saw some sort of variable rate technology. Cash cattle trade was mostly $2 to $3 higher last week, but since backers have reduced slaughter rates, we'll see how that development affects markets this week. On Friday, down in Torrington, cull cows traded from $1.07 up to $1.28, 2 to 3 cents more on most of those offerings. Last week in Buffalo, slaughter ewes traded mostly from 45 to 63 cents a pound. Wheat and other grain markets were down across the board on Tuesday. Recent market conditions have made U.S. soft red wheat very competitive in terms of price, cheaper than Russian and French product, although freight remains a prohibitive cost for customers of the U.S. Analysts continue to watch how dry conditions will affect crops in Argentina, Australia, and Canada. From the Northern Ag Network, I'm Brett McRae.